Just a few days following his bold address at the United Nations, where he dismissed calls to cease hostilities in Gaza, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is preparing to meet with Donald Trump, his key ally. Trump is an unapologetically pro-Israel president, but the White House meeting comes at a tenuous moment. Israel finds itself in a state of growing isolation, with a significant decline in support from numerous nations that have historically been its loyal allies. Domestically, Netanyahu's coalition government seems more vulnerable than ever before. Moreover, the White House is beginning to exhibit signs of frustration. The pivotal question now is whether Trump, who has consistently supported Netanyahu during the conflict, will alter his stance and increase pressure on Israel to bring the hostilities to a close. The US president is anticipated to share a new plan aimed at resolving the conflict. However, Hamas claims it has yet to receive any proposals from Trump or any mediators. The military faction of Hamas, known as the Al-Qassam Brigades, urged Israel to withdraw its troops and temporarily halt airstrikes on Gaza City to allow fighters to recover hostages. Here's all you need to know. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu announced that Israel is collaborating with the White House to develop a new ceasefire plan, although specifics are still being finalized. Amidst the ongoing military action in Gaza City, Netanyahu finds himself facing significant international pressure to bring the conflict to a close. As mentioned earlier, Trump is expected to share a new proposal for ending the conflict. Arab officials briefed on the plan say the 21-point proposal calls for an immediate ceasefire, the release of all hostages held by Hamas within 48 hours, and a gradual withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza. Netanyahu has pledged to persist in the battle until Hamas, the group responsible for the assault on October 7, 2023, which ignited the war, is eradicated. Nevertheless, he reiterated a proposal to permit Hamas members to exit Gaza as a component of an agreement aimed at concluding the hostilities. If they finish the war, release all the hostages, we let them out, he said. Trump has consistently supported Israel up until now. However, recent developments have revealed the US leader's increasing frustration, especially following Israel's attack on the headquarters of Hamas's political leadership in Doha, Qatar, earlier this month. Since then, efforts to negotiate a ceasefire have faltered, despite a surge in protests, both internationally and domestically. Prominent Western allies have joined a growing number of nations that recognize a Palestinian state, despite opposition from Israel. The European Union is contemplating imposing sanctions, while calls for a boycott of sports and cultural events involving Israel are gaining momentum. Just a few days ago, a resolute Netanyahu addressed fellow global leaders at the UN General Assembly, asserting that his country must finish the job against Hamas in Gaza. Let's now take a look at the buzz around Trump's 21-point ceasefire plan. 3 Arab officials briefed on the plan told the Associated Press news agency that Trump's ceasefire proposal would include the release of all hostages within 48 hours and a gradual withdrawal of Israeli forces from the Palestinian enclave. The proposal remains tentative, with significant modifications expected. While attending the United Nations General Assembly in New York, Trump engaged in discussions about the proposal with Arab leaders. According to a Hamas representative, the group has been informed about the plan but has not yet received a formal offer from Egyptian and Qatari mediators. Netanyahu has consistently asserted that Hamas must surrender its weapons or face defeat. In response, Hamas has declared that it will not relinquish its arms as long as the Palestinian quest for statehood continues. Furthermore, the group firmly opposes any attempt to remove its leaders from Gaza. The Al-Qassam brigades, the armed wing of Hamas, urged the Israeli military to withdraw its troops from the Sabra and Tel Al-Hawa districts, located southeast of the Gaza city center, and to temporarily cease air raids over the area to facilitate the rescue of hostages trapped there. While the Israeli military did not provide a direct response to this appeal, it emphasized that it had no intention of stopping its offensive. A statement was released ordering residents from various parts of Gaza City, including the Sabra district, to evacuate. Residents of Gaza, along with medical personnel, reported that Israeli tanks advanced further into the Sabra, Tel Al-Hawa, and the adjacent Sheikh Radwan and Al-Nasser neighborhoods, tightening their grip on the city's core and the western regions where hundreds of thousands are seeking refuge.